What's up, nerds? It's Zane, and if you watch the intro, you'll know this is the Anime School. It's a new series that we're wanting to do where we try to get some people who are not that into anime because I think it's great. I think it's a super fun hobby, interest to have, and we really got to get rid of these misconceptions that anime is just a cartoon. But don't worry about that. We'll talk more about that and a lot more later on in the video. So if you're interested, let's get into it. First, what is anime? Let's answer that question. Anime is a style of animation that originates from Japan. Honestly, the word anime comes from the Japanese pronunciation of animation. At least that's what I heard on the internet, but sounds good to me. Outside of Japan, however, anime specifically refers to Japanese produced animation. Some key features of anime are firstly the unique art style. Like the characters have these large expressive eyes. There are a lot of detailed environments, sometimes rendered with 3D animation, and there's a lot of fluid motion. And those are just some things that you could get seeing an anime. I mean, see this clip from this anime, see this clip from this anime here, and this one here. We all know how often we get to play that game of find the main character because of all the weird and wacky hairstyles and hair color choices that some of the characters have. So yeah, very unique. Another key feature of anime is the diverse storytelling. Anime covers nearly, if not every genre, from action to romance. There are horror animes, slice of life animes, which we're gonna go and do a second video, maybe episode 2, we'll be covering all of the different types of genre of anime. The final thing that I want to point to as a key feature of anime is the deep character development. A lot of stories are really rich in their world building with a lot of long form storytelling. Anime is very much something that you want to be, or they want you to be, invested. Those are my 3 big key features of anime. If I missed anything, comment down below, and while you're down there, make sure to like and subscribe as we roll right into section 2. Is anime just a cartoon? Absolutely not. If you think anime is a cartoon, this video is for you. Because anime is more than that, honestly. There are a lot of differences between anime and Western cartoons. Let's start it off with a little chart. Hopefully, I'm going to put it up on screen now. Let's talk about the target audience. Like I said earlier, anime is meant for everyone. I mean, whether you're a kid, a teenager, or even an adult, there is an anime that specifically targets each demographic of person that's going to be watching it. Whereas cartoons for Western audiences are typically just geared towards children or family-friendly content. It's kind of our. Next, we have storytelling. And as previously discussed, anime is typically longer form content. It's meant to be enjoyed over dozens, if not hundreds of episodes, and they typically have more of a serialized feel. And for those who don't know, a serialized television series is one that has a story that spans the entire series, whereas Western audiences, our cartoons, are more episodic. That means what happens in one episode has no bearing, typically, or no huge bearing on what happens in the next. It's always a new story or new adventure, like SpongeBob. I mean, even within one singular 30-minute episode, it's broken up into 2 episodic stories. And that's pretty much it, honestly. Let's keep going. The themes in anime can range from, again, something simple that a child can follow all the way up into the complexities of working a job as an adult that you don't really like, but you've got to support your family. It's a wide range of very complex and deep emotional themes. And with Western cartoons, usually you don't really get that. They're more comedic or adventure driven with not a lot of complexity in terms of their storytelling or what the theme is within the show or series. And honestly, these are my biggest takeaways from the differences between anime and Western cartoons. They are not the same. There is a little bit of overlap in terms of, styling, serialized versus not serialized, but they really aren't the same. So this all kind of brings me to this story that I really like telling to people whenever I'm like, oh my God, you don't watch anime? When I was a kid, I liked to go visit my grandmother, and my brothers and I would go, we'd hang out, spend the night, spend a couple days over at my grandmother's house. And, you know, we'd be in the bed watching cartoons. We'd be watching, you know, Scooby-Doo, SpongeBob, all that good stuff, right? It eventually will eat, go, nightfall comes, it's dark outside, right? Getting ready for bed, you're tucked in, feeling great. Toonami comes on, and almost every single time, if my grandma was awake, she'd kick us out the room just so she could sit and watch Bleach. And for those of you that don't know, Bleach is a really important anime for the culture. It's part of a group of anime called the Big Three. I will make a video on that at some point, promise. We don't need to get into it now. Just know it was a really popular anime that used to air on Toonami. And when it would come on, she would legitimately kick us out of the bed and be like, this isn't for children. Go find somewhere else to sit down and watch TV. I'll let you guys come back in a little bit later when, you know, when it's over. I got to watch my show. This is great. And that was my first time really being, you know, introduced into the idea that anime wasn't a cartoon. I didn't know that at the time it was anime, but around the time when I was 14 or 15, I met a really good friend of mine who was really, really into Bleach. And I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, that's that show my grandma would let me watch. She said it's not for kids. So yes, I love telling people that story because it's like, it for me was this idea that like, oh, anime could be something more than just a cartoon. I mean, honestly, it wasn't until college that like it really clicked to me that Pokemon was an anime. Yeah, I wish that was a joke. I will keep saying it. There's an anime for everybody out there. And if you continue to watch this video so far and you're like, man, where should I get started? I've got a couple choices for you. And that leads us into our last section of the video. If you made it this far, leave a like, leave a comment. You know, why not tell everybody what anime you started with if you're watching this and you have been an anime fan? And if you're new to anime, read the comments, listen to the section, you'll find something for you. So we've got a couple of genres that I want to get into. I'm thinking action, I'm thinking adventure, fantasy, and maybe slice of life. And again, we'll definitely be doing a video talking about the genres of anime, what you can expect from them. But here we go. If you're a diehard, like I like action, I need there to be a fight. If I'm going to watch an anime, it needs to be epic. Here's my top pick for you. And I'm trying to make sure it is something that isn't super long, but it also is really engaging. I'm thinking Demon Slayer. Off rip, I may not be the biggest fan of Demon Slayer, but I have to admit that it got a lot of people into anime. So for those of you that don't know, I am a special education teacher at an elementary school, and a lot of the students that I work with, whether they're in special education or general education, they love Demon Slayer. It's kind of wild. Moving on, let's talk about an adventure series that I think, and obviously there's a little bit of overlap here, but a general like, oh man, I really want to get into something. I want it to have a story that spans not 700 or 1,000 episodes, but something that's like cool, interesting. I'm going Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood here. I'll pop it up on the screen. This is one that I really believe that if you want something that has mystery, intrigue, action, you know, it's the show for you. Now, if you want to go fantasy series and you have a penchant for slightly gruesome shows and also a little bit of mystery again, I will go ReZero. Season 3, or is it season 4? I can't remember right now off the top of my head. I haven't started watching it yet. It's currently airing right now in this current season of anime. I don't want to talk too much about it. You know, I haven't talked about any of the anime because spoilers are a big thing for me. So if it at all interests you to start an anime and this is the genre you want to start in for, you know, fantasy, ReZero I think is a good place to start. As for slice of life, which again, these genres will get explained in a different video, I would go, if you're one of those people that you like a little bit of romance, a little bit of sad vibes, Your Lie in April, especially if you're into good music, that's the one. We just recently talked about this couple from this series. I say couple in quotes. In our last video, anime couples, we dropped it on Valentine's Day. Go check that out if you haven't, or after the show. Once you've watched the show, go check that one out. And that's it. I don't really have anything else I want to recommend right now. Again, don't want to overload anybody. I think that these are all some really good choices. And if you've got any anime that you think that people should start, drop those in the comment section down below. And just a little tip before I go ahead and head out of here: if you're going to start an anime, start with one that is a shorter series, or you can do a well-known gateway anime. That way you can get a feel for the stuff that you like. Please do not be afraid to try different genres, man. Like, my guilty pleasure genre is romance. I don't tell people that I'm watching it, but like sometimes, bro, a little romance, put it on, sit at the house by myself while the wife's at work, and I'm like, you know, let's see what this couple's got going on. Maybe I'll cry a little bit, who knows? Oh man. But yeah, now that you know what anime is, you're definitely ready to jump in. What anime are you gonna watch first? Please come back to this video once you've picked it. Let me know in the comments. And I don't know, man, I think that's it. I'm out.